4 at home last night and now trail Portland 3-1. The Blazers took the lead late in the first half and never looked back. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum continued to win the backcourt battle, combining for 51 points. Westbrook, on the other hand, missed all 7 of his shots in the second half and finished with just 14 points. After Game 3, Russ refused to answer questions and continued his battle with columnist Barry Trammell of The Oklahoman. And again last night, Russ was not very chatty. Take a listen.
Yeah, Russell, Barry Trammell with The Oklahoman. You guys did a great job on Lillard in the first half. He didn't score until the last 75 seconds of the half. Were you pleased with the defense you played on him, and how did it change when he got going in the third quarter?
It's a good question. Not sure.
All right, we're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, good morning.
That was an improvement, actually, over just a straight no comment.
I don't know.
No, it's bad. It doesn't look good. It's not good.
We'll get to that. But how much has Russell's legacy been hurt by this series?
Not at all. And here's why. Because Russell Westbrook's legacy is not going to be about winning. And it's not. I've made peace with Russell Westbrook's legacy.
Really?
He's going to have a legacy similar to Allen Iverson, Pistol Pete Maravich, maybe Dominique Wilkins, where he's this tremendous individual phenom, this spectacle, this whirlwind who puts up these incredible stats that hardly anybody else has ever done. And in the triple-double case, no one else has ever done. And that's how we're going to remember him. 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, he's going to be an icon. People are going to look back. There was this guy, Russell Westbrook, averaged a triple-double for 3 straight years. Maybe 4, maybe 5. Who knows how long he'll keep this going. Oscar Robertson, Skip, and you know this, when you ask anybody in basketball about Oscar, whether it's LeBron James, whether it's Hugh B. Brown, whether it's just some random high school coach who really follows the game, the first thing that comes to their mind when you say Oscar, he averaged a triple-double for an entire season.
He did, but he also did win a championship late in the career, thanks
with
to
Kareem.
Okay.
But how many people think about that? That one ring he won later in his career with Lou Alcindor, now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, look, and Westbrook's also the only player ever to lead the NBA in scoring and assists 2 times, or 2 or more times.
Yep.
So he's the 2020-21 game where in Nipsey Russell, you know, a tribute to Nipsey Hussle, tribute to him. Like, honestly, and you will never win a title with Russell Westbrook as your leading player. And maybe even your second player. I don't even know if he can hardly be a second player because of the way he plays, his style of play. He doesn't take good shots. He doesn't understand time and score. He plays minute 47 like it's minute 17. He doesn't know how to slow it down and play with pace at times. So I get all that. But his numbers probably make him a guy that would be not put on the top 50 players of all time. And so I get it. This is where I don't think it's affected his legacy. Where I think it is affecting him negatively is his current stature in the game. Steph, well, let me not even go to Steph. Damian Lillard is better than Westbrook. It's as simple. He's a better basketball player. He's a better Westbrook is a better athlete. He's a more explosive, individual.
By the way, quick point on that. Damian had an open break with the ball, and he tried to dunk it, and it took all of his might to get up to dunk it.
To do it, right?
He barely can dunk. But go ahead. That's the difference.
You could say the same thing about Steph. Yeah. Steph, Damian, Kyrie, James Harden. Now they're better players, better point guards than Westbrook. Now Westbrook is no longer going to be in the consideration of a top 5 player in the league right now. So where it's hurting him is his current position, but his legacy is set. He was this tremendous individual phenom. And last thing, Iverson, after they went to the finals in 2001, he only won 1 playoff series the rest of his career in 5 tries.
Was with Carmelo?
No, they didn't even win. They went out in the first round. He won 1 more in Philadelphia. And then, the one time he really had deep playoff success was with a coach like Larry Brown, who was on him. I mean, we know their battles are legendary. To play differently, and just put a team around him. That's what Westbrook would need. Scotty Brooks wasn't telling him what to do. Billy Donovan's not telling him what to do. That's the only way he could win at any high level outside of having a great player like Kevin Durant, which he did.
Well,
Shannon Sharp, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this, Chris. Once you've had this kind of success, you've gone three straight years and you've had a triple-double. What coach can tell Russell Westbrook or can harness or rein in Russ at this juncture of his career?
At this juncture of his career, I don't know if anybody can, to be honest. I mean, Larry Brown got Iverson when he was relatively young. What, maybe sixth year in the league?
Yes.
Something like, you probably can't change him at this point.
He got him before he won the MVP and took the team to the final, but that's neither here nor there. The thing is, for me, is that Russ is who we thought he was all along. And I made the analogy earlier, Chris, it's like the good-looking girl. You forget all the flaws. Nasty personality. She'll say anything. She'll do anything. But she looks good. Russell Westbrook, he got that triple-double. He shot 5 of 21. He got a triple-double. He was 13 of 38, but he got a triple-double. And when he doesn't get that triple-double, it forces you to take a deeper look inside what he actually did. So now last night he didn't have a triple-double. He misses his last 7 shots. He's 5 of 21. They had a 7-8. They forced Portland to call 2 timeouts in a span of, I think, 2.5, 3 minutes. They're up 7, they're up 9. And before the half ends, Portland has a 2-point lead. Why? Russell taking horrible shots. He thinks he fails to realize he's a scorer, not a shooter. So he thinks he can, and they love it. They love when Russell hits his first 1 or 2 shots, because guess what that means, Chris? He gonna keep it going, and his percentages tell you it's going to come down. He's shooting 39% from the field, 31% from the 3, and he's turning the ball over 5 or 6 times per game. You're not winning with that. And Kevin Durant tried to tell y'all, say, look, y'all can call me whatever. Kevin Durant would have rather taken the backlash and the criticism for joining a Golden State team than to stay there and try and figure out, how can I win a title with this guy?
Agreed. And where I part ways with Chris Broussard is his legacy took a hit for me last night, and I can only speak for me. And I became a Russell Westbrook fan when Kevin basically left him high and dry in OKC. And I predicted going into that year he's going to average a triple-double. But I was looking at it as more of a solo act of defiance against the loss of Kevin Durant, and he pulled it off. But I can no longer defend 3 straight first-round exits, what looks like it's going to be a 4-12 postseason record post-KD. And to me, last night was a legacy game for Russell Westbrook at home, and I really thought he would win it because he would just will it. He would just figure out some way to pull it off, as he did Game 3 on, what was it, Friday night. And I think he shot the biggest hole yet in his legacy last night, because he really hit bottom. And what bothered me the most was 2:31 left in the first half. Russell Westbrook finally drains a deep 3 right in Damian's face. And if we could see that, what does he do from that moment forward? He busts up the court, beating his chest, screaming God knows what. Here it is. He's screaming to everybody. I think he's saying it's my house. I don't know what he's saying. God, I don't know if we could repeat what he's saying. But he looks like he just made the shot that won Game 7 of the finals, right? And we know he's fueled by emotion, and it's raw rage, and nobody plays harder every possession, every single loose ball. We get all that. But at some point, you have to grow up and say, you know, we got a lot of basketball left to play here, and these guys were up against, they can really shoot it, right? So what happened from that moment forward in this basketball game? 11-0 happened, because that was the Portland run up to halftime. And in that 11-0 run, Russell Westbrook missed 3 shots and turned the ball over 1. That's in the last 2:31 of that half, after that display you just saw. And then in the second half, Russell Westbrook scored a grand total of 1 point. He scored 1 point in the second half. And meanwhile, Damian scores 15 in the third quarter and CJ scores 13 in the fourth quarter because they can just flat out shoot it. And Russell shot himself in the foot and his team in all their feet because you live and die with him shooting, and he just shooting in the series now. He shot 36% from the field. He's 29 of 80. And from the three-point line, he's 30% in these 4 games. Well, that's horrendous. It's just hard to, you can't win. You can't overcome that because he shoots high volume and high volume misses. And it won't work because it's funny. Most great players